so how will that look under your eyes with aging lines so deep, even deeper than what?
Where's your stick? Where's your stick that you flip? We're walking down the road. Like a dick. How evil is medieval from Knievel?
How evil are you? How evil are you? What is the energy doing 22 humanly impossible gifts and riffs through the skin of sweeter Peter Palpin? Think of you. Think of you. And well, all you have to do is view any movie created in the name of love, not hatred, in 2007 out of Los Angeles, in unholy, in New York City, shitty, pretty, and non-witty. And then you'll realize, hopefully through kind eyes, that it's humanly impossible for the skin of sweeter Peter Palpin to age those uglies, smugglies, and fuglies. That it had to be the one and only God Almighty in this modern day reality, not Aphrodite. And so you better tidy up and go get some makeup to cake up over those aging lines that you're about to have. And so it doesn't matter what chemistry lab you'll go to, and they're going to keep getting worse and worse. And it is a curse for not being 95%. For not being 95% and the one and only tater and the one and only crater with the one and only creator. And so, Peter will be happy to see you in full view. And so we'll stop by to say hi. Bye-bye. And so when we come over like Rover, will you expose those aging lines under your eyes? Or will you run from the camera that will slam you? And so rent the movie 23 with Jim Carrey. Or rent the movie The Zohan with Adam Sandler. And ask yourself, who's the one and only manhandler that did that to those not cats in the hat? Those rats who were jealous and envious of the skin of sweeter Peter Palpin. And so look what happened to them. Ah, look what happened to them. And believe me, it'll be worse for you three. Just like that man on steroids, that android. And so, Peter, these uglies and smugglies, and down wrong, fugglier than any fugglies, I've electrocuted them through the skin of sweeter Peter Palpin. That's what they think, because when you're in front of them, that's when they get the electrocution. And well, what? What? And so for all of you listening and glisten, Peter hates when I do this kiss of bliss, because he, more than anybody, knows that it's more than obvious that he's not doing any of the 22 humanly impossible gifts and riffs. And so when people are all these creeples, more than obviously, are ugly and smugly and fugly, not towards him, the skin of sweeter Peter Palpin, but what they're doing is disrespecting me, the more than obviously one and only in this modern day reality. Not the skin of sweeter Peter Palpin. He's more than obviously just the skin that I, the one and only God Almighty, just jumped in. Sweeter Peter Palpin. And so when he walks with me and talks with me at night, like this, just a bliss, he says, "Can you die? Why don't you throw them down on the ground like you've done to me with pain that's so insane that one breath feels like your body's going to split into a godzillion times a godzillion pieces." In other words, nobody ever felt that pain. that flame. And that will give them more than any shame from whence they came. And for sure, they'll start to play the game of life. Because they don't want that strife. And they'll realize the verse of the universe is not perverse and is only a curse if you're not 95% or greater in the one and only creator and the one and only tater, or the one and only creator. And so all these gators in their swamp, in their egos, their envies, their jealousies, their unfriendlies, their crass, this mass of toxic gas. And so, tonight, they will feel my more than any bite. Because I'll disgrace their faces. And so this isn't a game from whence you all came. In other words, this is really happening right now, wow kapow, in this modern day. And so the hard part of being the skin of Sweeter Peter Paladin, he's that doesn't know when I'm lying or when I'm telling the truth. But one thing he knows for sure, I do age creeples, and I even AIDS creeples, and I put pain into creeples, and he knows I electrocute people. Because, well, here's an example sample. One day, a long time ago, not that long ago, me, the one and only, and J-Video Heaven Paladin and Sweeter Peter Paladin were walking along Malibu Beach. And there was a guy who was ugly and smugly and fugly like these three guys. Guys, or are they guys? Drinking beer more than perfectly clear in a bottle. And so I electrocuted him for being ugly, smugly, and fugly towards the skin of Sweeter Peter Paladin. And so he got electrocuted. But he didn't say anything. He wouldn't have been good. But more than obviously knew it was mission impossible. And so I said, like Barney and Fred, through the skin of Sweeter Peter Paladin, you didn't know that you could get electrocuted by holding a glass bottle, did you? And he said, no, but now I know. And so that's one ample example. And of course I electrocuted Peter in the video. And so they know, and it's not like a little carpet shot. It's like putting your hand in an electric socket. That rocket from the stars. Past Jupiter and Mars. But it's not from the stars. It's from the one and only all-star that matters. And this is the heart and soul of this more than obvious modern day God Almighty matter. And I do get madder and madder and madder. And creeples think I get badder and badder and badder. And they do get sadder and sadder and sadder. Because they realize through unkind eyes that I do despise the uglies, the smugglies, and the down-around fugglier than any fugglies. But the good news, they won't be singing the burning forever and ever blues. In other words, there's no such thing as hell. In other words, me, the one and only clever lover, am not that ugly, smugly, and fugly, that I'll burn any human being forever and ever for not being clever and the one and only smart and the one and only heart. But I will give you lifetime after lifetime of unshine and slime. And you see, because this is the most important time in the history of Mother Earth, when more than obviously I'm back to give her her total mirth and rebirth by scaring the light into every ugly, smugly, and fugly. And also the beautiful, not beautiful souls that don't play the mightier than all role, or the unholy role. All those souls that aren't prejudiced, that don't put themselves on a higher shelf.